Hopefully everything's right.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure every decision you made is perfect.
I appreciate that. You're probably wrong, but I appreciate it still. Pander
I'm
more,
used to being
please.
wrong.
Please pander. I need it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and count us in, and then Tyler, we can go from there.
Okay.
All right. Let's go in 3, 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Charge Shot Gamescast. No, I'm not Thomas. I am your host, Ben, aka the Marvelous Iggy, and joining me is Justin.
R.I.P. Thomas.
Okay, he's not dead, but we'll get to that in a moment. And of course, joining us, who is our Godzilla-ologist, who is now graduated to full-on Charge Shot member, or he always was, but now he's part of the actual table now going forward. Tyler, welcome to the big stage, buddy.
You know, I was used to being part of a podcast, but all I got is a Gamecast.
That's how you want your first one to be? That's where you're starting?
Yeah, I wanted to open with the Malibu's Most Wanted reference, because every time I hear the word Gamecast, I always think of that scene.
All right.
Oh boy. Thomas, this is a mistake. Anyways.
Come back.
I'm
back,
sorry,
please.
I ruined Charge Shot, guys. I'm sorry.
We've officially jumped the shark. We brought in, what is it, Cousin Eddie? And it's just going to go downhill from here.
Cousin Eddie right now.
No, he's the nephew from Brady Bunch. Who was just like, what the fuck are you doing here, kid?
Oh, jeez.
No, you're better than that. Oliver? Yeah. I think his name was Oliver. Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Steve Urkel into Family Matters.
Yeah, but that show. Well, then that means you become the star and we become relevant, which probably will happen.
Yeah, probably.
At least for me.
Did I do that?
No, you're more like Leonardo DiCaprio in Growing Pains. Like you're coming in arguably too late to get a full character arc, but like people still love you.
You know what? I'm just happy enough to be Leo DiCaprio, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty flattering.
Like, that's the best compliment I'll ever get.
Yeah, you just remember you get fucked by a bear to win an Oscar, so just keep that in mind.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Whatever it takes. So let's address a few things first before we get into sort of like the jovial stuff.
Yes,
we got to
sir.
get the heavy stuff out of the way. So those who don't know, Thomas was the host, the owner of this site, Charge Shot, and this podcast. Kind of the reason Justin invited me to be on the show. What was it, 3 years ago now? I think something like that. 4 years. And recently, we won't go going too much into detail. Pretty much just lost heart in making content. His heart's not in it anymore. You probably could tell from listening to Gamescast, where the enthusiasm wasn't there, and that just happens. He's fine. We still talk to him on a daily basis. He's okay. It's just that in terms of doing like this is a grind. I did a Marvel podcast for like 5 years, and sometimes you just need a break, and you just don't have it anymore. And when you come back better, or maybe you change things up. So
come back fully charged.
Yes. He is always welcome. He is not gone. He is always welcome. So whenever he decides to come back, if he wants to come back, we will be a 4-man crew again, calling back to the days of old. But for now, it'll be me as your host, going week to week, starting now every Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and of course the podcast audio released later in the week. And then and now technically Thomas has put the site over to me, so now I am officially the owner of chartshot.com. So that doesn't mean I'm going to be all dictatorial or anything like that, or like make Justin write essays on why VTubers are amazing and he can't, and otherwise he has to leave. It's not going to happen.
I mean, to be fair, Ben was already a dictator before those changeovers, so it's the point is it's nothing new.
Yeah,
nothing's changed.
Now I have a title now.
Yeah,
that's all. So it's still a collaborative effort. It's just the site's in my name, but it's always collaborative. Like Justin's running the stream, so there you go. Because if I tried to run the stream, it would be moving like this over and over, and we don't want that.
And I made the overlays and everything, so it just made sense to I already had it all set up.
Exactly. So, yeah. So that being said, I know it's not ideal to hear, but he's not dead. He's fine, fine. But going forward, you just won't be hearing his sexy ass voice, going onward. But who knows? Maybe that'll change at some point. We don't know. But
For
all
the
we
record,
can do is
RIP stands for rest in peace. He needs rest.
that's true. Not unless you're the Undertaker. If you're the Undertaker, then it's another thing altogether. Then it's like, oh shit, he's good. So either way, so yeah, that's pretty much the whole new era. It's gonna be us going forward, a new time slot. We'll probably, I haven't floated around with this, Justin. Maybe we'll float around with changing the show just a bit, but for the most part, we'll be sticking to the same format for now until maybe inspiration hits us.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, things will go as normal. Weekly show, talking about video games, talking about news, stuff like that. So with that, let's get into the jovial stuff. Justin, what have you been playing this week? And please tell me it's more arcade games.
I actually haven't done that in a little bit now. I need to. I got kind of burnt out going through all of those arcade games for a while. I haven't gone back and actually deep dived into anything. I should. But I'm waiting for friends to come over and play. When my friends came down for my birthday, we did some games and that was fun. But yeah, I need to give some more time to it. But anyway, I do want to start by saying mental health is important. Take it seriously. Get help if you need it. Don't make yourself a priority. Don't let that stuff slip. Because it can hit you hard when you least expect it, and that's really rough. So now I'll get to the jovial stuff. And most of what I've been playing... Actually, while we're on the topic of Thomas, me and him started up some Outriders over the weekend. And
hot new IP.
Yeah. And I thought I should start with that because it is a new IP and we're a gaming podcast. It's really fun. The shooting feels a little loose because there's a third-person cover-based shooter, and so I struggle a little bit with third-person shooters and the aiming reticle, because especially when you're just kind of freeballing it, just shooting wildly, your reticle's in one place, but then when you aim down sights or whatever, it shifts. Whereas in first-person, you're kind of always aiming down sights, so you only have to deal with one view, and so then when you get into cover-based shooters, also. You tend to have a lower point of view when you're under cover, and then you aim down sights and it shifts you up. So it's you might think your camera is facing the enemy, and then you go to actually aim and you're way off. And so it's you're standing there getting shot while you're fixing your aim. And so I've never been the biggest fan of third person shooters, but I actually really was enjoying this one. Partially because Thomas was kind of, showing me the ropes and stuff because he'd played further than I had. But also I picked the, what was the class called? It's like a ninja basically. I can't remember what it is offhand, but it has basically kind of time shifting, almost electrical looking powers. And the first skill you get is this just huge sword swipe type thing, and it hits any enemies in range of it. Honestly, I think it hits them past what you think the range is, and there's a brief kind of they freeze for a second, and then you just see their skeletons, and it takes a ton of damage, and it's just a really satisfying you don't necessarily know who you've hit. Yeah. You don't necessarily know who you've hit at first, and then you just see all of these skeletons, and a whole group of enemies are gone. And then there's another ability that just kind of drops down a dome of time slowing. So you combine those two things, you kind of get a group, you drop down a time slowing dome, so they're just kind of slow running through it, and then your sword charges and you just slash at all of them inside of the slow moving dome and just wreck a whole crowd at once. It's great.
That sounds cool.
And what's really cool is the different classes play differently, obviously, But this one specifically, you get health back for defeating enemies at close range. And generally, the way I play games is like I just run in heedlessly and attack everything, and take the damage and usually die. And then Thomas gets mad because he has to come res me, and it's the whole thing. But this game kind of encourages my playstyle because I can run in like shotgun blazing, throw a sword slash out, shotgun a few more times until it loads again, and like that whole time I'm getting health for quick killing enemies in succession. So like I can just stay on the front line because like I'm healing as fast as I'm taking damage. That's not always the case, but like it's a fun difference from the usual shooter because like you don't necessarily need the cover unless you're playing a more ranged like technical class. But yeah, also like it's a really cool world. Like it's there's a lot of like cryogenic time stuff going on. Like your character gets frozen multiple times in the prologue. So you're just kind of like time hopping accidentally. But the actual game takes place in... What?
Freeze well, Batman.
Stay cool.
Mr. Freeze?
Chill. What killed the Outriders? The Ice Age!
The Ice Age!
Anyway. So, yeah, like the actual game takes place in kind of like a desolate future. Actually, I was telling Thomas, I was like, it kind of reminds me of like Anthem done right, but without the mechs. So like it doesn't have all the cool Iron Man gameplay and stuff, which admittedly is my favorite part about Anthem, but the world feels very similar and way more fleshed out than it was in that game. So just kind of if you understand that tone, like you know what to expect here. But yeah, there's some really cool enemy variety, some hard bosses. Like the bosses actually have like casting timers when they use like their special abilities or whatever. So it's like they're casting spells and you can like interrupt the casting if you use the right attack against them. But yeah, like some of those special abilities are hard and they'll like, just chase you around the field. But I'd say it's kind of a mix between like I said, Anthem to an extent, but like Division with kind of the the cover-based shooter type stuff, and then like Borderlands with some of the campiness. Like the main player doesn't really take anything seriously, even though he's still kind of figuring the world out after being frozen. And then obviously like the looter shooter elements and things like that from Borderlands. But yeah, there's a lot to like about that game. I probably won't play it too much by myself because Thomas said it's really hard when you're trying to run it alone.
Oh no!
But I really like playing it with a squad. So yeah, Ben, if you are interested, like it might not be so bad because it's a third-person shooter.
No, it wouldn't be. The problem is Monster Hunter. That's the problem. Ripping me away from that.
Fair.
It like I was counting on Monster Hunter to not be hooking to me. So like, yeah, I would be game, but like, it's an addiction now.
Yeah. And that's why it's nice, like, that it's just kind of a multiplayer game. Because, like, I don't feel the pull to it by myself. But, like, whenever Thomas is free, I can be like, hey, you want to grind out some Outriders? Because he made a new character to play with me, so it's not like it's affecting his gameplay or anything.
Right.
Which he chose the Technomancer, which is kind of like a gadget-focused class. And he said he doesn't really like it that much because it's just not his playstyle. But
when you say Technomancer, I always think of that video of Gandalf at that rave, or he's like doing the lights.
Wow. The one thing that's really cool is a lot of his abilities are like ice focused. So he'll freeze a whole group of enemies, and then I'll come in and like sword slash them to death. Nice. So it's a nice combo because like I slow them and he freezes them. So we both kind of work on like crowd control together.
Ice team.
Yeah. He said he felt like Sub-Zero. back on the ice puns. But yeah, the other thing really has been I did literally just start Octopath Traveler before this, but I didn't get far enough to say. I chose Ophelia, if that.
That's the samurai. That's the cleric, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she seemed cool.
She was my starting character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was between her and the thief, and I did the demo version or whatever I did with the thief. Mm-hmm. So I figured I'd do someone else, but do a cleric. But anyway, the other thing I've really been playing last week, fans of this Twitch channel will know. Last week, my friend and I started an Ocarina of Time online game, which was really cool. Like, it's not perfect. There's some weird glitchy stuff in there, like how it registers like two people in the same area. So like, it's basically like you are playing a single player game with other people. Like they are instanced inside your game. So like whenever one of you gets an item, you both get the item. I think whenever one of you gets a key, you both get a key. Things like that. Like anytime you open a chest and get a thing, like heart containers are all shared, all that stuff. But a few weird things is like if you kill the enemies in a room and it unlocks a door, it doesn't unlock it for the other person because they still have to kill the enemies. Because the enemies are like separated per game. So like you can see them next to you and like they might be slashing at nothing because you already killed the enemy, but they're like, I'm having so much trouble with this enemy, and like you don't even see it. So that kind of stuff is weird. And like rupees aren't shared.
Oh, that sucks.
It's not so bad because you can get things separately. So like at the beginning of the game, I told him to go get the sword while I grinded out rupees to get the shield. So like whatever rupees he would gain, on his way to getting the sword, he'd still have after I bought the shield. So like if you're trying to grind out a certain amount of rupees, like you can do it independently of each other. And so like if there's two things that cost 200 rupees, you can each get them at the same time, which is pretty nice. But it does take longer because, it's not shared.
Yeah, because you're accounting for two people instead of just one.
Right. But the other thing that's weird is I think, like, we didn't have this issue because we've kind of just been playing together. But I've seen some people doing, like, randomizers and stuff where they just kind of split the focus and they're like, hey, you go do this thing, I'll go do this thing, we'll meet up later. If you're both in a dungeon and like one of you finishes it and leaves, you both get kicked out. So again, like if you're playing through together, like we were both fighting Goma, which I think they were separate Gomas, but whatever. She goes down, you take the heart, you both leave. Like it's fine because you're in the same room. It would just be kind of annoying if like you were in the middle of something and someone else beat the dungeon already. Like if you're trying to split it up and like they were getting an optional chest or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's a really cool thing. And I'm excited to do it more. We had some frame drop issues at the end of the stream, so we had to quit. But it is pretty cool because you can make a little bit more progress, at least outside of dungeons. Like I said, inside it's a little tough because there's, enemy rooms and things like that kind of get in the way. Where like, since you both have to clear out those rooms and stuff, you're not really going any faster. And a lot of times there's only one path you can go down in a dungeon, so you're just like hanging out next to each other. But like,
I imagine Water Temple will be a huge pain in the ass with two players in that instance.
I don't know if the water levels sync to each other. It could actually be really convenient.
Oh man! I'm getting this funny imagery of like you lower the water level, but your player 2 hasn't, so you're just literally seeing him flying in midair.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Funny. Because the day nights,
like Sheik in that one cutscene with in Kakariko Village.
Oh yeah, just floating around.
Yeah.
The day night cycle is not synced, so like I I like rolled my way into Hyrule Castletown, like right as it started morning, but it was turning night for him. So he's like, "How do I get in?" Like we literally can't like be in the town at the same time. So I basically went all the way through out to the castle area, and just like let time pass, and then he got in. And I went back to day and then went back in, so I knew we were both around at the same time at that point. But yeah, there's weird things like that where it's like stuff that's, time sensitive. You have to make sure that you're both in the same time or you're experiencing different things. So yeah, anyway, that's really cool. We're going to do more of it. I want to find some more like kind of creative multiplayer things. I know there's also an online mod for Mario 64, which could be a fun one to do after this. But we'll see.
That sounds like really fun, especially considering how open Mario 64 is. That sounds really fun.
And I don't know how that works as far as like syncing stars and things like that, since it kicks you back out after you get a star. But
that would be really convenient. I almost got the 100 coins, and then like the other person gets the easy star. Like, no!
Exactly.
I almost had the 100 coin star, you clown! Stream's over. Done.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it works where just each of you is in the level. So, like, if one of you gets kicked out, the other one's still in the level, can get another star, then they get kicked out. And, like, if the other person goes back into the level before the other one has their star, they're still doing their thing. So it's like, kind of separate. It's just you live in the worlds at the same time when you're there, if that makes sense. But I don't know for sure. Also, not to derail things, but Tyler, your webcam's been frozen for a while.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's frozen on my end.
Huh. Ben, does it look frozen to you?
It has. I've just been not saying anything to keep the show going.
Oh, sorry. I just thought I'd shout it out real quick. Maybe just like restart it real quick or something. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got. My 20 minutes are up.
All right. So Tyler, since normally I would go next, but since we're gonna follow that tradition of the host going last, Tyler, what have you been playing this week?
Recently I've been playing a whole bunch of Monster Hunter Rise, the same as Ben here. Similar to him, I kind of went into this game not entirely hopeful. It really sunk its claws into me about 2 hours in, like to the point where I'm at least committing 2 hours a day just to killing monsters whenever I can, in between work or on lunch breaks or whatever. And I've been having a blast with this one. I originally started out with using bows and arrows because my creative character is based on Nina Williams from Tekken, and her backstory is she's an assassin who pretty much murders people for a shit ton of money. And my canon for why she would be in this game is because she just decided not to hunt people and just decided to hunt monsters for money. So it all comes hand in hand. I have a dog that's based off of Kuma from the same series. He even has the red neckerchief. And just for kicks, I have the cat named Tom because in her likes and dislikes, she likes Tom from Tom and Jerry. So that's the whole reasoning behind that.
Nice.
And
wow, you went hard.
Yeah, I originally started out with the bow because, assassin. And it went pretty well. I was enjoying using the bow to kill monsters, but after a while it started doing very little damage. Like, it was doing, like, on the strongest strikes, it did, like, minuscule damage on monsters. And for those that don't know, in Monster Hunter, the big monsters are really fucking beefy. So imagine just going into a long boss fight with just a bow and arrow and a dog and a cat that can barely do enough damage either. And that was getting kind of annoying, having to fight these monsters for at least a half an hour. So I switched to the greatsword, and yeah, that's what I've been using for the past week. I recently got myself a big-ass bone sword, and I managed to kill one of the monsters that I had trouble with in week 1 in 7 minutes flat. So that was cool.
Nice.
I imagine that's
So,
the
yeah.
satisfying part of that game is like, overcoming the adversity of what was giving you trouble in the first place.
Yeah, one of the best parts of this game is you're in a long boss fight, and it's really beefy. It does a ton of damage, and over time you whittle it down and you overcome the odds, and it feels really good when you finally beat it. I have yet to capture a single monster because I just like fighting them. So it just plays to my need of fighting stronger opponents in games, But yeah, other Monster Hunter, I recently started playing Consider It 3, like literally just earlier today. It's basically a Japanese indie game that came out on the Switch a few weeks ago. A whole bunch of VTubers were playing it over the past couple weeks. Ben, I'm sure you know this one.
I've seen it. I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware. So basically, it puts you in a scenario where you have to consider situations, and some situations are really ridiculous. There's one where it's basically a parody of Star Wars, where you're fighting against Darth Vader, and you have to draw the lightsaber or choose not to, your call. And if you want to, you can have the lightsaber extend out further than you would expect it to the point where the camera pans out and the lightsaber's just coming out of the Death Star. It's great. But yeah, my roommates and I had some fun with that, so it's pretty fun. But yeah, other than that, I've just been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution because that's pretty much my comfort food. I just like playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
I need to get back into that.
So, yeah, we should play Duel Links sometime.
Yeah, we should. I mean, I need to get some better cards first, but we should. I
I
haven't played a lot of stuff. Like, I was building a Catio last week, and then Easter, and it's
sick,
just...
by the way.
Thank you. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not technically done. We have a few shelves and stuff to add still, but they love it, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've been doing.
All right, so like Tyler said, I've been playing I've played nothing else but Monster Hunter. There was a Xbox Game Pass game that came out called Narita Boy, which sounded really interesting. I told myself, today you're either going to play Very Default 2 or Narita Boy. Didn't happen. Okay, I'm sorry.
I kind of want to know how good Narita Boy is, so I was hoping you had said you played it a little bit.
I'll try it. I'll definitely try it before next show. I will do my best. I'm probably gonna make Monster Hunter like handheld only. Like it's gonna be like, okay, I'll do a hunt before I go to sleep or on the road, but probably like only if I unless like people want to play together, will I do it on my TV. So that's probably gonna move it to, since I've technically beaten Monster Hunter. So last night I streamed it just because I was like, I don't Indivisible's great, but like, when you get a game that you can't stop playing, you just want to fucking play that game. So I figured, fuck it, I'll just play Monster Hunter on stream, even though I was nearly done with the game. And it was nice showing off my armor. I felt all super proud. I showed off my fully, for my, as I call it, baby's first armor. It's like this big ass bird thing. It looks really cool. Like it's all white, has like nice shades of red, and has a little rapier on the side. It looks like makes me look like I'm a high knight. It looks really awesome. But I'm really into it. Like I will admit that like as a Monster Hunter like noob, it is overwhelming. Like it is. Excuse me. There's a lot of system mechanics that you have to take into account of, and the game will throw a lot at you gradually. Not it's not too overwhelming, but like first, okay, here's how this system works. But overall, once you, as I call it on the stream, I call it the lap, and you understand how the mechanics work on Komoro Island. Because the problem I had with Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, which was the last Monster Hunter game I gave a shot, was that it felt nothing felt distinct on what I needed to do. Where was this here? Okay, here's where this area is for training your calicos and your dogs. Here is where you forge your armor. Here is where you it's all very distinct. And what's especially good is that online sections, it's the hub area. Everything can be done in the hub area, so you don't ever have to leave that area if you're online. So it's all very good sectionalized. I'm using the great sword. The big sword, whichever one. There's two different types of swords that are big, but I'm using the big one. I just love it because it just
the big
whacks.
berserk sword.
Yeah, it just whacks the shit out of monsters. I've uploaded some clips onto my Twitter, but like there are points where I fought this monster, and like I was kind of just not aiming, and I was just kind of swinging my sword like a madman, and then I fucking knocked his tail off. I was like, oh shit, I knocked his tail off. Oh, that's badass. And then I proceed to do that like for the next 4 monsters, and I just fought like I think I recognize this monster. It's called an Anjanath. Basically, think a T-Rex with bat wings, basically. And I knocked off its tail. Like, oh, that's like the hypest shit ever when you like, because like the cool thing is that you'll see the monsters gradually start to weaken down. They'll see like wear damage. You'll see when you break something off, like you'll hear something or like you'll see it fall off, and it's just like, okay, I got you, bitch. I will tell you, Tyler, you want to capture monsters because you actually get certain drops from them if you capture them. And did you do the capture tutorial, or did you skip
yeah,
that?
I did all the tutorials.
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, do capture monsters. It's super easy because the game will let you know when they're in a weakened state under their icon on the map. It'll have like a little blue marker. Pretty much that's when you want to set the trap, but you only take one trap at a time of 2 different set of traps. So you have like a pit trap and a shock trap. You lay down some food so they like either poison food, raw mood, or tinge meat that'll basically draw them near, and you pretty much throw this like smoke at them that basically puts them to sleep, and then they get captured. It's real badass. Like but if you kill them too much, obviously you can't do it. But yeah, this game is just highly addictive. What's crazy though is that this game's frame rate doesn't drop at all. With
even
the
handheld?
amount of systems, even in handheld mode, dude, it's arguably like it's crazy. Like when like I've played this online, offline, the like nothing, the craziness of it, like the most you'll see on a Twitch stream is like the bit rate goes to hell, but that's more on like the encoder, not necessarily the game itself. But like I don't know what the fuck Capcom did or what wizardry that they found to make a modified version of the RE engine work almost flawlessly. And remember, there's different kinds of monsters. There are monsters that fight each other over turf wars. You can mount monsters. You can mount monsters and attack other monsters. There's so many intricate systems where especially having watched Matt and Mel's What Happened series, that sometimes that over ambition can be your like downfall. Here, everything just fucking works somehow. It's crazy. There's some texture issues, some camera issues sometimes, but that's like few and far between. That's like, to me, that's nitpicking at this point. But one of my other favorite things about this game is the topography. So there's 5 areas. They're all very distinct, have their own setting. You know, lava land, flooded area, the shrine ruins that you see in the tutorial. There's a grassy like. What I love about it is that though it feels like real topography. It doesn't feel like a video game because like when I would play other like I tried Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and then I tried the demo of the 3DS port on Switch, and it just felt like, I don't know, too video gamey, which is a dumb thing to say, but like, you know, it's like, okay, here's this area, here's this area. Here, it still marks off like certain zones of like, okay, this is this, but everything has like it feels like it was naturally built by these monsters or by just nature itself. And you can like, my favorite parts are like finding pieces of ancient civilization that used to live here. It's super cool. They put a lot of work into this. Like, it's crazy. And supposedly there's like a big patch coming at the end of April that probably have new content and stuff like that. So I'll have that to look forward to. Like, this is gonna be my destiny. Like to align myself with Thomas. You're gonna hear me talk about Monster Hunter a lot.
Monster Hunter podcast win.
I feel like I'm too much of a noob to do that, and like even with me playing a lot, I have yet to dive down to the finer systems of the game, so I don't think I'm the right person to make a Monster Hunter podcast. But I do think this game is excellent. I saw a stupid article that says Monster Hunter is not Rise is not good for new beginners. I'm like, I read the article. I was like, did you fucking read the tutorials, bro? Did you fucking? I don't think they read, like, because you can easily skip past them. And like the full number one, don't just jump if you're gonna play this game. Don't just jump right into hunting monsters or going online with your friends. Do the fucking tutorial missions. Get your feet wet. And also, like, for anybody who's like anxious about, oh, I don't know what weapon to use. The beautiful thing is that you're not locked to any single weapon, as Tyler said. You can try anything. I'm actually thinking of learning gun lance because that just sounds badass. Gun lance. So I might learn that. But like, there's no hesitation to try. And even if you're neck deep in, like to say a weapon like I am with the big sword, you have enough resources to start making like better versions of like another weapon by that point. So also train up your palmuts and your palicos. You can do that in the dojo buddy area, and not only does it level up themselves, but it'll level up the weapons that they're using. So like they'll initially have an F ranking. The more you train them, the more higher their weapon rating, the better they are in battle. So it's great, and it's nice to play a Capcom game that has functional online. That's nice.
Yeah, right.
It really is nice. Even in handheld mode, Wi-Fi, the game had no problems. Like maybe like a character would like this, like kind of like stutter a bit, but in terms of what I was doing, nothing, flawless. It's crazy.
Well, Rise is the first game to use Nintendo's new like online stuff, right? Like
I have no idea, honestly.
Their new server infrastructure or whatever.
I would assume no, because they just recently shut it down. This game would have had to have like this game's been in development for a while, so I would assume I don't know how game development works in terms of network infrastructure. I honestly don't know. But I'm gonna chalk it up to technical mastery either way, because either A, they're working with an old system that sucks, or B, they're working with something brand new that may not work with everything that they've already established. So either way, it's fucking genius. So I know it's early to say it, but shit, we're already in April. Shit, it's gonna be June before. This is definitely a game of the year contender for me. Like, not even like I've played a decent amount of games this year. This is easily number one so far. Like nothing else touches it. And I'm interested to see if it holds its position going last year, similar to Streets of Rage 4 did for me last year. But that's all for me. I wanted to play other stuff, but every time I was like, Monster Hunter, gotta hunt monster. And right now I'm on level 5 single player. I haven't done a lot of online, so that's why I think my hunter rank is 2 on there. Just because I want to find a dedicated group to help me just to get through those early quests, and then we can all do stuff together. But for now, I'm just content with doing single player stuff. And that's the best part, is that my biggest fear was that I couldn't play this game by myself, that I wouldn't have fun by myself. Wrong. Absolutely wrong, and I was glad I was wrong, because I am having so much fun playing this game by myself. And I think that's a testament to Capcom's strength, that I'm able to both enjoy this game, both single player and online. And they've designed a great video game. Yeah, I will change it up next week. I will try to talk about Narita Boy, because I'm really curious about it. It's on Game Pass. And then I want to play more Brave Default 2. I'll probably try to get more of that in. So we'll see, but who knows? Monster Hunter is a powerful fucking addiction. But yeah, all right. That's gonna do it for this first half of the show. Justin's gonna play us a quick ad break, and we'll be back to talk about some news.
Newsy news. All right, BRB. I've never actually run an ad on my channel before, so I thought I'd try to do this thing that Thomas always did. It could be interesting. Plus, I'm decently close to... I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm decently close to a payout. And I kind of want to get a stream deck if we're going to be doing the podcast on my channel. So I figure that can go towards, towards that.
Yeah, if it helps.
Yeah. But it's kind of neat. You just push a button and it does like a minute-long ad. Like, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the raid is also on here. I need to just keep this up when I stream, because I always forget to raid.
Yeah, I do too. Every time I saw Thomas streaming, I'll be like, fuck!
Yeah.
I forgot. I'm usually just tired as hell to think about it, honestly.
Right. I see it like after I'm done. And we're back.
Oh, hey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the news portion of the Chart Shot Gamescast. Let's get right into it, shall we? Talking about some Katana Zero DLC. For those of you who don't know, Katana Zero was a game that was released in 2019. It was 2019. That was an indie game. That was basically about a ninja who suffered some PTSD, and basically the objective of the game was to clear a room without dying. It's a badass game. Go play it. It goes on stuff like $10. But apparently, there's been DLC in the works. I had no idea about this. So apparently there was free DLC that was for Katana Zero that's supposed to be coming. Apparently is now 6 times bigger than planned. Katana Zero developer Axisa has been working hard on delivering this indie hit free downloadable content. Today they have revealed that it's currently 6 times bigger. Yada yada. The free Katana Zero DLC will be 6 times the original planned size. That's a bit over half size of the main game. That means more levels, mechanics, enemies, bosses, and intertwined story elements. It's less like a DLC and more like a Katana 1.5. So the bigger question is, when will it come out? The short answer is, I don't know yet. There are tons of content finished, but there's a large this is a large project. I'm aspiring to the same level of quality and attention up to the base game. I'm also still doing all the programming, designing myself. This is my passion project after all. Don't fret. The game is progressing at a healthy pace, and the whole dev team is working full steam on the production. The DLC won't be expanding anymore either. The plan is set, and now we're focused on finishing it. So,
this almost seems like it should just be another game. Like, that's what Hollow Knight did.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Silk Song. It exactly sounds like Silk Song.
So it's kind of weird.
But it is weird. So, I honestly didn't even know this game was going to have DLC because, like, I mean, I think the game does have multiple endings. I only played it once, but I know depending on the outcomes you do, I think you get multiple endings. But that's super badass that they're making. It's going to be free DLC for people who own the game already.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Shovel Knight approach.
Exactly. Yeah, you buy in for life.
Mm-hmm. We buy for life.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. So, speaking of DLC, I can do fucking segues. Suck me. So apparently, Miles Morales Spider-Man Miles Morales is a huge hit this past Christmas. As presented by our good buddy Justin.
Yeah.
This might be old news by now, but they're introducing. Insomniac Games is introducing the advanced tech suit in this latest update. As you can see, if you go to their Twitter page. It looks really slick.
It's also on
I won't
screen
lie.
right
I'm not. It's also on screen.
Yeah, it looks badass.
Yeah, I don't know if Batman Beyond's the right word for it, but I really like the metal. It's not armor, but it's like sheen. I really like it. It looks sick. I like the spider on the back. It's nice.
I saw some comments saying like, I miss when Spider-Man suits had actual spider symbols on them, but like I like these kind of more angular like symbolic spiders.
Yeah, it's still. What are you talking about? That's still a spider. Like the idea is still the same.
Yeah, I don't know.
Comic nerds suck.
Right?
Let's just be real here.
People love to hate things, but this looks great. I love it. It makes me kind of want to play the game again. I might make that a solo stream thing after I finish Majora's Mask. I don't know. I love that game so much.
Anything else to say, guys, on this?
I hope that we keep getting more suits.
We know, Justin.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think they were. I figured like there would be no DLC for this game just because it was just kind of like, all right, get out the door and let's move. But that's cool. Who knows? But we'll see. If anything, they'll probably save all the good costumes for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Probably.
So all right, let's go on to talking about accessibility in video games. So a lot of y'all are aware about what was it, a couple years ago now, where Microsoft revealed that accessible controller, which is kind of like a flat circle, and it's basically like what I'm talking about. So apparently they're doing it again.
I think it's called the Xbox Accessibility Controller.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So now apparently a similar device is coming to Nintendo Switch. It is called the Hori Flex device. It's Nintendo Switch joystick and accessibility Switch interface, releasing for the Japanese market in 2020. Exciting for game accessibility. It's the first Nintendo approved Switch interface since 2003 Team Extreme. First, obviously, the negatives are it's Japan only. So if you do want this thing, you have to import it, at least for now. So apparently, too, the joystick support is very limited. I plugged in, nothing I plugged in worked, and apparently tried various joysticks. Joystick options are very limited. Currently, one from Tech Tools, Praetorian's Optima joystick, and some Hori controllers. Example, just one stick of Hori D-pad Mini, Hori Pad, and Real Arcade Pro. Nothing else. More can be added. I'm told this will improve. XAC started poor and grew with time. Consideration for people building custom joysticks using Arduino PCBs. Really like the possibilities. You can't assign analog directions to the accessibility switches. That can be very helpful, such as a switch setup to left stick up to walk forwards, hopefully in an update, so that's kind of disappointing. Can't use alongside a standard gamepad Joy-Con. For games where with access to these features is essential, there's no easy way for a helper to join in. There is no simple way to mix these controllers together. Example, for a one-handed player perhaps wanting to use one Joy-Con and the controller with their foot. Or number 5, mode button does not switch accessible. This is the same issue as the Xbox adaptive controller. That's the name.
Okay.
If you can't physically reach the dedicated profile model slot button, you are reliant on someone else to do it for you. Maybe this power could be added in an update where it becomes possible to map mode to a switch socket.
It's funny how many. Sorry, we'll move on. But it's funny how many concessions they have to make for accessibility. Like, the whole point of this is to be accessible and easy to use.
Right? Yeah. Amen. Yeah, exactly. But
it's like those medicine PSAs that have more drawbacks than actual symptoms.
Right.
And the cat is going wild. So there's some good positives here too, but overall, I think it's a step in the right direction. It's crazy that this is Japan only at this point, but I do believe I feel like this should just be a market there already, because we already know there are plenty of people who are disabled who want to play video games but simply can't because of either dexterity of the hands or the condition that they're in, that they just can't. So I think that it should just be an option regardless.
Yeah, when I worked at Best Buy, there was one of the other I was a Samsung rep, and there was another rep that was like for HP or something like that, and we talked about games, but there was certain games you just couldn't play because he only had one hand. He had an arm on the other side, but like it wasn't very functional, if that makes sense. So it was fascinating to me, like the way he would manipulate the controller settings and stuff like that to work with a lot of games, but there's some things you just couldn't play, and like he generally did PC gaming because I was a little more customizable and stuff. But yeah, it's insane to me that in 2021 there's not just universal accessibility controllers that you can map to anything and they just work. Like, what's stopping that market? Like, what is preventing these people from having access to the games that everyone else plays?
I think it's just probably greed. They probably like, well, does the market demand it? There's somebody in corporate, in the business office, who's like, well, we got to see the numbers from it. Will people actually buy this product? And versus being just a fucking good, company doing the right thing for letting people play your product. Whatever, it's fine. Right. It's not fine, but that's probably how it goes.
Good thing Able Gamers is out there figuring out ways to help people.
Yeah, there's always a Superman whenever you need them.
Yep.
So speaking of not Superman, and PC Gamer, fuck you for the clickbait tagline. Activision Blizzard appoints a former Trump official as the chief administrative officer. Okay. It is, and I know some people thought like one of the Trump started working for Activision. No. Activision hired another Republican alum to its leadership team with its appointment of Trump administration member of Brian Bulato, who you probably don't know who that is. Like,
nope.
There's a lot of Trump people named that is probably not one of them. Earlier this week, the publisher announced the promotion of Armin Zera as chief CFO, but Bulato, who joins Activision following a previous role under the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, comes aboard with notably less fanfare. His hiring revealed via company-wide internal emails required by Kotaku. I'm pretty much like, that's, I find it interesting that, like, I remember people were saying, oh, if you work for the Trump administration, you're not going to get hired. Well, this guy got hired, so. Clearly, some people don't give a shit. Then again, it is Activision, so they probably don't care.
They encourage it.
Can't write.
Also,
you go from...
unrelated to this guy, but Armin Zerza is definitely the name of a supervillain.
That's Arn, because it sounds into Arm Zola, that's why.
Yeah, it does.
That's what you're thinking of.
But I'm just saying, like, he would, that person, I don't know if it's a he or not, would definitely be a supervillain. Yeah.
They're probably our version of Arnim Zola, just waiting for their plan to strike.
Yep.
So yeah, interesting. You go from working under the Secretary of State to working at Activision. What a career will take you, huh?
Yeah, like what in the resume?
Not sure if that's better or worse.
Yeah. Anything else to that, Tyler?
No.
All right. So, from one controversy to a positive controversy, that's not a thing. This is Fortnite news because we're gonna talk about Fortnite now because we're esports. Are we esports? We're not esports. Fortnite on Nintendo Switch gets GPU performance and resolution boost patch. So this is some good news. Epic has announced that the Nintendo Switch version of Fortnite will receive a free patch from, it's already out. They'll improve the performance of the title. Not only will the update allow for a higher resolution in both handheld and dock mode, but the patch will free up 140 megabytes of storage space on your Switch's internal memory, or one of your poor micro SD cards that are probably full to the brim at this point. Not unless you bought a 1 terabyte card. Yeah. The Fortnite developer mentions that the popular Battle Royale game will have an improved frame rate, meaning players can enjoy smoother gameplay. So just to give an example, on handheld mode, it was 1000 by 560. After, it'll be 1170 by 660. In docked, it'll be 1390 by 780. And then after that, it'll be 1560 by 880 for resolution. So this is an example of that now that it's already out. I didn't really have problems when I played Fortnite on Switch. Then again, I'm not like a hardcore Fortnite player, so I probably can't tell. But I think that's pretty cool that they were able to figure out how to improve something, but then also lose memory at the same time, so it's not as you can get rid of 145 megs, which in the grand scheme of things is not really a lot, on Switch memory.
Yeah, I think a lot of this has been because they've been optimizing the game for mobile, so they can bring some of those optimizations over to the Switch version too.
Probably, yeah.
Because the game looks better too. Like, it's not just resolution. They've actually it's got better draw distance and more realistic shadows and a few things like that. But I don't think a lot of people playing on Switch really care about the visuals, honestly.
No, I no. Just let me see Chun-Li's. Just let me see Chun-Li's booty dance to do popular modern dances. That's all I ask. All right. Anything else, Tom?
That's good.
Okay. All right. So, moving on. Obviously, while we are aware about the PlayStation Store on PS3 and PS Vita and PSP all shutting down relatively this summer. So now, the Gamer basically wrote about an article about the developers who are basically about to lose their games forever on the PS Vita. Starting with the quote, "I think it's a real shame, to be honest. Developer who worked on various big titles to the PlayStation Vita. We're at a point now where there shouldn't even be a discussion about game preservation." And so, of course, they reported that they would be closing those stores. So download and play what you already bought, but once closed, the games listed on the stores won't be purchased anymore. Exclusives will be lost forever, and close to 2 decades of work will be snapped out of existence in what's seemingly a cost-saving exercise without any consideration for the human cost. And
this is why emulation is huge.
Yeah, and it basically goes into a long article about why, how it's affecting the developers who probably put time into this game, and now once the Vita is officially closed, most people are not going to be able to play it at all. And I think that's terrible, honestly. How it can't be costing them that much to keep these stores open, in all honesty, right?
Yeah, I would assume not.
I don't know how a lot of that stuff works, which probably means I shouldn't say anymore. But
this is a podcast. This is what we do.
Yeah, exactly. It's always about wild speculation. It seems like it's more an allocation of resources. So, let's say you have 10% of your server space being allocated to something that no one's using. You can reallocate that 10% to stuff that people are using, and it makes that stuff more stable and efficient without any extra cost to you. So it kind of ends up being a balance thing. But again, this is a digital storefront. That's the only place these things exist to purchase. And so there is a preservation issue there. If anything, right, they should somehow, donate digital copies of all of these games to a preservation museum or something before they close it, as kind of a good faith measure. But I don't think they're doing that. Instead, there's just 2,000 games are going to be gone forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be
That's a
preserved,
damn
but
shame.
like Sony should take the effort to preserve them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I know there's like a physical copy of like the PSN Greatest Hits or something like that. And like now it's probably gonna like that game's that's a PS3 game that has like Fat Princess and some other games. But Fat Princess is the most notable one, and that game's like skyrocketed in price since this has been announced. Like it's just terrible. Like I mean, hell, if the like I don't know, maybe they don't want to go through the effort of getting PS Vita emulation running on the PS5, which you probably could do. Let's be real here; it's powerful enough to do it, but I guess it all depends on resources. But I just keep them the fuck open. Like the Vita. How old is the Vita at this point? Like 10 years old? 9?
About 10 years, I would say.
I think it just had its 10-year
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yeah, so just keep it the fuck open. Like I understand, like people weren't using it before, but like, just there's no reason to not have it open. Or I feel like, I think when Nintendo shut down the Wii thing, we had like a whole fucking year of that shit. So, but like here, it's like, no, you got 4 months, dog. Which that's theoretically that's enough time to get the games that you want, buy what you want to buy, and whatever. But it just sucks that a lot of these like there's a lot of PS1 games on the PS3. There's a lot of good PSP games that you can't find physically because they're stupid expensive. That are on digital storefront only. That the only true way to get them is on the digital storefront. So it's just a shame.
But luckily, the Vita is like a hotbed for emulation, so I'm sure there's someone that could download the entire library of Vita games onto their hacked Vita and save it forever. So there's that, I guess. Yeah. But what I find really interesting here is there's kind of a discussion to be had about
That'd be cool.
Exclusivity, because there's a bit in this article about the developers of Sir Eats a Lot, which I've never heard of. I guess it was a Vita exclusive, and they saw this possibility of the store closing and started working on a Switch port, because Sony was not doing well with the Vita, and so they're like, why should we be stuck on this dying platform when we can, ditch the exclusivity and get the game into more hands? So while those storefronts are going away, they're saying like exclusive games are just going to be gone forever. Like, it might be an opportunity for some of these indies to, reintroduce their games into new marketplaces, which could be kind of cool.
Yeah. I would think like the whatever exclusivity deal that they had is probably gone. At least I would hope so. Like, hey, the store's about to close, so let me fucking take it to the hottest, system shop there is, and that's the Nintendo eShop. So who knows? Because Lord knows, I think like there's a Wii game that got a remaster on the Vita called Muramasa Rebirth. I think it was like a 2D. Nice Mega Man. He's out of focus though. Now I'm worried he's gonna take focus, and then you're gonna go out of focus. But like, I would love to see those games on some of the Vita games on there. My dad still has his Vita, and I know there's still some good Vita games on there. There's some good PSP games that like I feel like should get ported over. Star Ocean was one of them. That was locked to the PSP for years, and only up until December 2019 did that game get a full port, remaster, whatever you want to call it, version on Switch and everything. So.
Yeah.
All right, so let's because I'm sort of hosting, so that means you're definitely going to get more fighting game news. We definitely got some. We have some Melty Blood stuff going on, which if you don't know what that is, you probably heard the name Wizard Melty Blood when you walked into a fighting game tournament and then you heard somebody come out of the bathroom and you wasn't sure what that was. That was probably Melty Blood. So there's a new version of the game coming out. Melty Blood Type Lumina. It's coming to Switch and more in 2020-21. And surprise, Turn 1 fighting game's biggest cult hits is getting a new entry later in the year. Melty has been around since 2002. based on fellow Dojin game darling. Jesus, I did not know it was based on the Dojin. Jesus Christ. French-bred, the group that developed Melty Blood would go on both to continue refining Melty Blood and developing and eventually developing the Under Night series. So the 2D, basically this is in the tweet. The 2D fighting game that takes place in the world of Tsukihime has been reborn for release in 2021. Melty Blood Type Lumine on PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. Interesting, not coming out for at least like a version for them on PS5 or Xbox Series X. Type Moon. It's on sale March 26th, so it's already out as of right now. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, and apparently the big thing. Several details can be found on Melty Blood Type Lunar website for the one battle systems being built from the ground up in order to bring the modern standards without losing the Melty Blood spirit. It's planned to feature more than 10 characters and will release on Switch and well as PS4, Xbox One later this year. So yeah. Also the big thing is that it's gonna have rollback netcode. It doesn't mention this in the article, which I feel like that's a like why don't you mention it? But it's gonna have rollback netcode, and
because only nerds care about that.
If you want to play a good fighting game, you pick rollback netcode. By the way, and I'm gonna say this: if you fucking like delay-based netcode, you fucking go eat a tire. Just eat it because you don't deserve to live.
Jeez.
Delay-based netcode is awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
You want to press a button and then see like 8 frames later your button come out. No, fuck that. Rollback isn't perfect, but it's damn well better than fucking that shit. That's why that's why KI uses it. That's why Mortal Kombat uses it. So like the fact that another Japanese developer is using it is great. Capcom Street Fighter V does have rollback netcode, but they fucked it up. So that's why people think rollback's not great because it sucks here. I'm like, that's because it wasn't done right. Guilty Gear so far was done right, so hopefully this will take the same chapter and it will continue, and maybe Melty Blood will rise along with everything else. Yeah. I
have a question.
Yeah.
How do you know that eating a tire will kill them?
Because of the material. That shit's not good for you.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's toxic, right?
The material in that shit, well, number one, if it doesn't kill you because of what's in it, it's gonna get logged somewhere, so you're gonna die. It's either gonna get logged in your intestine or it's gonna get logged in your butt. Either way, it's gonna be painful.
It'll make you tired after you eat it.
God damn it!
That's what I was leading up to, you jerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're gonna expect from the show. It's just a pun off between these two secretly.
Hey, you two are gonna come at me with VTuber stuff.
Win.
True, that's true. So yeah, good on for that. So hopefully with Guilty Gear, like everybody and their mother seems to be excited for Guilty Gear, which is launching in I believe it's in June. So hopefully that same kind of hype can be traveled to Melty Blood, and everybody can be playing in their bathrooms like nobody else. So yeah, here's another quick news bit. The backwards compatibility program for Xbox Game Pass will now reach the cloud, so you can play old school Xbox on your phone.
Ooh.
Let's see, what is it? There's a magical moment. Yeah, self-aware as shit. Today we're embarking on a new journey for the backward compatibility program, taking it to the cloud. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members can now tap into the collection of various favorites from the past in a whole new way, brought on mobile devices, turning them into a retro handheld gaming system. Because Microsoft won't make that shit. They won't even try. They know not to fuck with Nintendo in that space. 16 original Xbox games and Xbox 360 games are now available on Android phones and tablets, with more games coming soon. We've listened to the feedback going all the way back to our earliest cloud gaming preview, and making games from the previous generation available on mobile devices is one of the most requested features by the community. So now you'll be able to play a range of titles from The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind to on the Xbox 360 to Banjo-Kazooie, Fable 2, Fallout New Vegas. We're also enabling touch controls for Jetpack Refueled, Viva Pinata Tip, allowing you to tend your garden with ease. With games connected through Xbox Network, which I think that's what they remarketed Gold, right? Or something? I can't remember exactly. You'll be able to bring past saves with you and play along with gamers from around the world. Existing Game Pass Ultimate members can go back and start playing today. If you're not a member but are interested in chipping away at your back catalog, finally getting into the game you've meant to play since 2010, damn, calling everybody out there. Extra Game Pass now. So here's all the games listed: Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Double Dragon Neon, Fable 2, Fallout New Vegas, Gears of War 2 and 3, Gears of War Judgment, Jetpack Refueled, touch controls enabled, Cameo, Perfect Dark 0, Elder Scrolls 3 and 4, Viva Pinata, touch controls enabled, and Viva Pinata Tip, also touch controls enabled. So yeah, I think that's pretty dope. That you can play like old school Xbox games on and 2 Nintendo 64 games on your phone now. That's dope.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Whenever I get back to the office, I'm definitely going to try out the xCloud stuff because there's not very many good mobile games and I need something. So that'd be interesting to try.
Yeah, you can only get so much out of Duel Links every hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I don't see I could definitely see the appeal of playing like Morrowind or like Oblivion on the go. I don't know about Banjo-Kazooie. I feel like I need a controller for that. I do apply the effort for them putting touch controls into those 3 games. That's just not putting something on there. That's adding an extra feature that wasn't there before. So
honestly, it might make Jetpack more playable.
I never played those games, so I don't know. I'll have to take your word for that.
But you do need a controller for these. Like you basically connect a controller to it. Sorry.
Yeah, the only game I could see myself playing on this is Double Dragon Neon, but that recently just got ported to the Switch, so Anna.
I don't know. I'd probably try Viva Pinata. I played the DS one? I never really went back to the
Viva Pinata?
Yeah. It was one of the last rare games that Nintendo put out. I forget. Let me look at it.
That's really weird considering they were bought by Microsoft at that point.
There were a few things that still came out later. Viva Pinata DS. Pocket Paradise, that's what it was called. It was in I don't know what 2008.
So that's about what 3 years into the Vita's and PSP. I'm getting my handles messed up. DS's life cycle.
Yeah, something like that.
That's wild.
Cool. I did not know that. That's probably a super rare game. Ha! I did. See, I fucking can pun too, clowns. Anyways, anything else to say?
Oh wow, that was subtle.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, when you don't pun often, and then you pun, it comes off as greatness. That's what I am. I am greatness.
It becomes more pungent.
Okay, anything else to say on this, boys?
Well done. Nope.
All right, so apparently there's a Borderlands movie that's coming out.
You knew about this?
Huh?
We've talked about all the casting.
I know. I was just starting an intro.
Oh.
So apparently now we've been the plot has been revealed, and we now know that Edgar Ramirez is cast as Atlas founder. Is he the bad guy? I don't know Borderlands lore.
I think so.
The
most powerful person in the universe. That sure sounds like.
Edgar Ramirez to its growing cast, who will play a character named Atlas in a video game series. Atlas is the name of one of the major corporations and gun manufacturers. Furthermore, Lionsgate revealed the official plot for the upcoming movie. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the synopsis. 2-time Academy Award winner Cate Blanchett teams up with Kevin Hart and director Eli Roth's Borderlands. Lilith, played by Cate Blanchett, an infamous outlaw with a mysterious past, reluctantly returns to her home planet of Pandora to find the missing daughter of the universe's most powerful SOB, Atlas. Lilith forms an alliance with an unexpected team. Roland, played by Kevin Hart, a former elite mercenary now desperate for redemption. Tiny Tina, played by Greenblatt. I don't know the first name of that person is.
She's a new person. I forget the.
Okay. A feral preteen demolitionist. Krieg, Montaigne, Tina's muscle-bound theoretical challenge.
Rhetorically challenged.
Theoretically, that's the same thing. Tannis, played by Curtis, the
Jamie Lee
scientist
Curtis.
from the cleanest group and Claptrap, played by Jack Black. I know that's Jack Black. They really should just put the first 2 names. Like, I don't understand. In the synopsis, just put the whole name.
Yeah.
These unlikely heroes must must battle alien monsters and dangerous bandits to find and protect the missing girl who maybe hold the key to the unmanageable power. The fate of the universe could be in their hands, but they'll be fighting for something else. Hold on. They'll be fighting for something more. Each other.
Aww.
Based on the game from Gearbox and 2K, one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time. Welcome to Borderlands, dudes. Apparently the plot seems to diverge from the games in places as Atlas was never seen in the games properly. During the events of Borderlands 2, Atlas is seen in the control of Hyperion and its CEO, Handsome Jack, and in Borderlands 3, Atlas changes hands over to Rice, one of the protagonists from Tales of the Borderlands. So yeah, there we go.
So it seems like they're basically making Handsome Jack into Atlas. That's kind of.
I know Handsome Jack. I remember. Yeah. Why not just do Handsome Jack then at that point, right? I don't know why they take this other character that has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Unless they're saving Handsome Jack for something later.
That could be. Yeah, maybe it'll end with Atlas like getting killed and then Handsome Jack takes over. It's like, they thought that they won because they took out Atlas, but then it gets way worse with Handsome Jack.
But it was me, Jack, all along. Yeah, I mean, the few bit of Borderlands that I did play before I vomited on my floor, not because the game was trash, just because of FPS problems. Also, the game's trash.
Wow.
And is that Handsome Jack was sort of like an asshole villain of the month. So maybe they'll do that. They feel like he's too big of a presence. Yeah, that or the writers just don't give a shit. Like, let's just make this guy.
Yeah, I mean, this whole synopsis reads like someone just looked at the Borderlands wiki and are like, what are the most popular characters? And just threw them together in a generic adventure setting.
Yeah.
Because nothing about this sounds like Borderlands aside from the characters.
What was that, Tyler?
This just sounds like what they did with Dragon Ball Evolution, what Justin was saying about the synopsis.
Yeah.
Listen, do you play Borderlands for the plot? No, you don't. You play it because your friends can play with you and you get, like, stupid-looking guns. I feel like if you have stupid-looking guns in Borderlands the movie, is there anything... And you got big action, is there anything more you can ask for? Are you really there for character development? You're not.
The plot can be really cool. Like, there's some neat Borderlands lore. I think if this is presented in a really cool way, that like you said, the action and stuff could elevate it. But it's Eli Roth. Is it gonna be elevated? No,
probably not.
Yeah, this Borderlands is very campy and stuff, which Eli Roth excels at. But I don't think it's going to be the good kind of campy.
Probably not.
As long as it doesn't have a stupid FPS cam, I'll watch the movie if it's dumb action.
Yeah. We can do a watch along or something.
Yeah, so there you go. Plot synopsis. But a plot synopsis can listen to. Let's see a fucking trailer whenever they start shooting. Because I don't even think they started shooting at this point.
No, they just finished casting.
Okay, so yeah, let's get some footage later in the year, and then we'll judge the movie harsher at that point.
I mean, the Space Jam trailer looked kind of good, so who knows?
Looked really fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that movie. I'll watch it in the seat of my house because I will not pay a movie ticket for that movie. All right, so Justin, I'm gonna let you have this last story because it seems like a comprehensive one.
Okay. So speaking of adaptations of well-known properties, I figured I should throw a transition in there. The IO's upcoming James Bond game has gotten some more information as well, and it is going to be an entirely original take with an original Bond. So they're not using any actor likenesses. They're not basing it on any past movies or novels or anything like that. It is a new story with their own take on Bond that pays homage to the history of the character. So they say here, I think for us to really embrace this fully, we don't like to work mechanical. It's not just because it's a big IP or it's a licensed game, and commercially this is interesting. It means this is kind of nonsense. We've taken a lot of non-commercial risks before. So for us, it's about we need to feel it deep inside. The passion needs to be there. So it was very important for us that this wasn't a movie adaptation. So it wasn't a game about a specific movie where the story has already been told.
I want you, if you could, put a small, like, what's that song? The jazz song from the 80s. What's his name? Fuck.
Sexy Sax?
No. It's Michael.
Careless Whispers?
No, Taylor Whispers. That saxophone, like, just very quietly put that underneath Justin saying that, because that's exactly what that shit sounded.
Yeah.
Like.
Consider it done.
I did chuckle a little bit when it said we need to feel it deep inside. So I get it.
Do people know when, like, they say shit like, is that an innuendo? Fuck. Keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah. So I kind of hate it when, like, in articles they dictate things word for word, because it's nonsense. Like, you know, we used to see all the Trump speeches, like, written out, and it's like, this is the words of a deranged man. But a lot of times that's how people speak. Like, when you say something out loud, it doesn't sound the same as when you write it out in a more coherent fashion. So when you're taking someone's words and dictating them, you should translate that into something that makes more sense to read. So sometimes you just read the quotes and it makes no sense out loud. Anyway, there's always excitement around a new Bond. Every Bond kind of defines a generation, and it's amazing how they kept reinventing themselves over so many years. So we're not only inspired by one movie or games and whatnot, we're inspired by the whole thing and just sucking things into us to make an original Bond, an original story.
Knew what it was doing.
But that is totally absolutely true and recognizable in the values there is in Bond. I'm really looking forward to creating a new community that the gamers can call their own. So, yeah, this... Sorry, I saw Marcus Leto, and I thought that was something related to this game. So, I kind of like that this is going to be totally new. Like, even the games in the past that have been original stories, like the GameCube games, Nightfire and Agent Under Fire, they still used the Pierce Brosnan Bond. Because they were basically supposed to be kind of game movies, like in between Bond stuff. Like, I think that was after Die Another Day. So, like, there wasn't a new Bond yet. Like, Daniel Craig hadn't started. And they were kind of in limbo. So they were just...
that would be for, like, brand recognition, though, right?
I mean, I think they actually had Pierce Brosnan's voice and likeness and everything. So it was just kind of like continuing his legacy in video games. But those stories were really cool. Like, it was cool to see an original story and not just like a, movie adaptation in a video game. But I like this, and like they had, new casts and everything, like new villains and new love interests and stuff that were like high profile actors. Like, they really were like movies. But I like the idea of them just going all in with that. So, like, not tying it to anything and, like, casting a new Bond that only exists in this universe. And, like, a solely original experience. That sounds really cool. Especially since I'm kind of tired of Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
As Bond. I love Daniel Craig.
Of Daniel Craig.
No, like, he's great when he's not Bond. I don't really like his Bond. He's a great actor, though. Like, Logan Lucky, fantastic. Knives Out, fantastic.
Oh, best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Or one of the best parts of the movie.
When he can, like, ham it up and be a different character, it's great. His Bond's just kind of stuffy. I don't know. I think a lot of it's the direction. It's not him specifically. Like, I mean, if he was in the more campy Bond realm of, like, the Pierce Brosnan era, for example, I think he would have had a lot more fun. But it's just this more gritty, realistic Bond take. He doesn't get to do much.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that final movie to release.
Yeah. 2021 is going to be a rough year for games and movies, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Steph.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Everything I hear about it makes me more excited. I love James Bond games.
I'm not the biggest James Bond fan. I think I maybe have seen a Pierce Brosnan movie on TNT once when I was like a teenager. Just never cared for him. I mean, obviously GoldenEye was like a revolutionary thing, but like that was for the multiplayer at the time.
Mhm.
Fucking odd job. Fuck you. But yeah, I mean that's cool that we're getting a new James Bond game. I feel like we're overdue. I mean, like now we're isn't Bethesda? Didn't they say they're working on a Indiana Jones game, and now we're getting a
Yeah,
was it Bethesda, right?
I think it's Bethesda.
Yeah, and then first person Indiana Jones, fuck off. And then now we're getting a James Bond.
Yeah.
It may not be first person. I don't know.
I hope it is first person. I don't like the third person ones as much. But considering this is the Hitman developers, it'll probably use that same engine, and it'll be third person.
Take a note. Justin wants me to vomit while playing as Indiana Jones. Writing it down. Okay.
No, Indiana Jones, I think, should be third person. James Bond, I think, should be first person.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because the best ones are first person.
Don't make it greedy. Give me the cool gadgets. Give me like the laser watch. Give me the gadgets.
Yeah.
That's what give me the the music. Oh my god, wouldn't it be cool if every time you go into the mission, the whole like like every time, and it's like mission this, and then you go in like a PS2 game. Do it.
I love it. Just stylize the crap out of it.
Yeah, just do it. Make it a huge love letter to like those old Bond movies, and like this is what.
It sounds like that's what they want to do. They want to feel it deep inside. So
they want to feel Bond. They want to feel that Bond deep inside them.
Yeah, they need the passion.
Damn it!
They want a Bond.
Damn it!
Bond.
Family friendly. We are family friendly.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We've never been family friendly. All right. Anybody else got some news tidbits they want to share before we close out the first show of the new era?
I got nothing.
I don't think so.
All right. So everybody, Justin, plug your crap.
That's my line. I am zero score on all the places. As it says down here. I forgot I had this stuff on screen because I don't look at it when Thomas was doing it. So like we give our Twitter handles and stuff, but they're on screen at all times. But anyway, whatever. I'm zero score in all the places: Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. You're already here, so there's that. Like I said, I'm mostly just streaming right now. I did put out a new video. What was it, last week? I think on a VR beat 'em up game that my brother and I played. That was a lot of fun. We're definitely going to do more. He just got like a VR capable PC. So we should be able to work out some of the kinks we were having last time and be able to do some cooler stuff now that we're both going to be like running the PC version of Oculus games. They should talk to each other a little bit better. So I want to do some more of that stuff, but that's pretty much it right now.
Run better. No, you run better. No, you run better. That's how they talk.
It was a weird thing where it's like, I guess because I was on PC and he was on like, quote unquote mobile, like the Quest wireless, like our headsets weren't talking to each other. Like we could play together, but like we literally couldn't talk to each other. I don't know.
Technology's weird.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. Fingers in the frame.
You can follow me on Twitter at HeyIt'sTy. You can see it right here, or is it right here? I'm not sure. I don't have the stream up. If you follow the pinned tweet for the latest episode in my video review series, Tires, Shoes, Reviews, which is the video for Tekken 3. I've done the first 3 games in the series so far. And I'm taking a little break from that, and I am working on the next episode as we speak on Digimon Rumble Arena for the PlayStation 1, because I want to focus on PlayStation 1 fighters for the meantime. Also, we have Atomic Shot. The episode for Kong Skull Island should be coming up tonight. I don't know if the King of the Monsters episode will be going up around the same time, but that's all edited and done. We're really close to finishing Atomic Shot. We just got a few movies left, and we got some future projects in the works, so look forward to that as well.
And of course, you can follow me at twitter.com/MarvelousIggy for all things related to the self-proclaimed Marvelous One. Earthbound won the poll that I ran for which video you guys want to see me do next on either Earthbound or Mortal Kombat, and I'm gonna talk about childhood nostalgia. So there you go. In Earthbound, a game that I had that was burned by my mother in 1995. Anyways, besides that,
Like,
so look
literally
forward to that.
burned?
I'm gonna try to have that. Yes, I'm not joking.
Oh.
And I'll probably have that out by the end of April. That's gonna be my goal. So that'll keep on with my one video a month, maybe before the end of April, but definitely before April is over. And of course, catch me live at twitch.tv/Iggy2814, where I stream live 2 times a week. At Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Wednesdays at roughly 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, me and Tyler will probably be playing Monster Hunter now that we're both addicted to it. We're probably doing that on Wednesdays instead of Super Mario World. Sorry, I know we promised 100%, but Monster Hunter.
You have a problem.
I'll probably go back to Chrono Trigger and Indivisible. I'm back on my Sunday and Tuesday slots. Of course, Tyler played the Atomic Shot. Thomas and I are planning continuing the wrestling show, but similar to because of the state of the WWE streaming service shutting down and moving over to the Peacock, we'll be doing it every other week versus every week. So it will be doing exclusively WrestleManias going forward. So that's the plan. That might change, but at least that's the plan for now. So if you want to hear Thomas come do the with the wrestling show, come there.
That'd be nice.
I think that's gonna do it, guys. I think that was a good show for the first one. I'm sure we'll get better as we go along, or I'll just throw myself in a dumpster fire. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all. Watching and listening to. I combined words. The English language is a trick.
It's Mark Wahlberg.
Thank you all.
No.
Who watches the Watchmans?
Yes. Thank you all for coming by. We will see you all next week. Same charge time, same charge channel. Until next time, guys, stay charged.